Hello, parents and volunteers. Thank you so much for taking the time to help us with our Cookie Dough money counting. Our number one goal is to ensure accuracy of the money counted. If you ever have a question, please don't hesitate to ask Ms. Conrad, Mr. Weaver, or myself. Step 1. How to access Charms. Open your web browser and navigate to www.charmsoffice.com. Move your cursor over Enter Login, or just Login, and select Teachers Helpers. Each volunteer team will have its own username to log in. It is printed on the money envelope you were given. Type this username in the username box in Charms. In the password block, enter Otis, all lowercase. Click Sign Me In to continue. Make sure you are under the Finances section of Charms. Step 2. Checking a student's envelope. Before you start counting, ensure that every student envelope is clearly labeled on the outside and belongs with your badge. You should see somewhere on the outside of the envelope the period number of the student, or it might be inside on an order form. If you cannot find a period number, come see Ms. Conrad, Mr. Weaver, or Mr. Strickland. Before you begin Step 3 with any envelope, make sure you have separated fundraiser payments and donations for that envelope. Because of how we must code and track the deposits of donations, they must be completely separated from fundraiser payments. If there is a check that is both a donation and a fundraiser payment, return the envelope to Mr. Strickland, Ms. Conrad, or Mr. Weaver so that we can send it home with the student to fix. We cannot accept checks that are both a donation and a fundraiser payment. Step 3. Entering fundraiser data. Under the Fundraising drop-down menu, select Fundraising Ledgers. Select a student's envelope and find their name on the drop-down menu. After you've selected the student's name, you should see a page like the one here. Enter fundraising transaction. In the date box, the current date should be selected. Do not select the Set Default box. Under the Select Activity box, you should have Otis Cookie Dough Sales selected. You may select the Set Default box here. Merchandise. This should say non-merchandise fundraiser. If it does not, make sure you followed Step 4 correctly. Money. To enter money, complete the following steps. In the box labeled Deposit Group Number, enter your deposit group number that was given to you. You should have one for fundraiser payments and one for donations. If you did not receive deposit group numbers, go get them from Mr. Strickland, Ms. Conrad, or Mr. Weaver. The deposit group number must be accurate. In the Pay By drop-down menu, select Multiple Items. This should automatically bring up a new window that looks like the one here. For cash, in the Amount box, enter the amount of cash received in total from the envelope, followed by cash written in the check number box, and the student's name in the From Person box. In order to go to the next line, you must hit Tab on the keyboard. For checks, in the Amount box, enter the amount of a check received from one person. In the Check Number box, enter the check number for that check. In the From Person box, enter the name that is listed on the order form next to that check number. Leave the phone box blank unless there is a different name on the check than there is on the order form. In that case, you must enter the name on the check. Again, to continue on to the next line, you must hit Tab on the keyboard. Remember, you will need to do a separate entry for fundraiser payments and donations. If you have some of both for a student, this will require you to repeat all of Step 3 twice, once using the fundraiser payment deposit code and one using the donation code. Double check what you've entered in these boxes is accurate before continuing. There is no way to return to this once you hit Enter Items without inputting all of the data again. Once you are finished, hit Enter Items when done. You should see a confirmation that looks like the one on the screen. Check the following information before continuing on. Make sure you have entered the correct deposit number. Ensure that the amount turned in equals what the student order form says. Make sure you have selected CMS Band Activity Account or AMS Band Activity Account under the drop-down menu labeled Post Money Received To, and then under the Budget category drop-down menu, you should select 1-620 Sales for fundraiser payments or 1-1820 Donations for donations. Under Batch Receipt for Printing, make sure Yes is selected. Profit manually entered. Do not enter or alter anything in this area. Once you have double-checked all the information above, click Enter Transaction at the bottom of the page. Once the page refreshes, you should see information similar, you should see information at the bottom of the page that looks like the one on the screen. You can review the items you've entered by hitting the icon under Paid By next to M-Check. Donation-specific information. If you also have donations to enter for a certain student, repeat the entirety of Step 3. Please also complete the following important tasks. Ensure you are using the correct deposit number for donations and are entering all of the same information for donations. If a donation is more than $25, we must have a name and address to attach to said donation. Track all donations and addresses of donations over $25 on the donation form. If you do not have both a name and address, do not enter that donation in Charms. Set it aside with the student's name it came from and whatever information you have on the person, and bring it to me when you're done. Step 4. Sorting all money and checks. Once you have entered all money and checks for a class, you will need to sort the money in the following way. Sort your cash into stacks of 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, etc., and sort your checks in the following way. First, by amount, stacks of $18, $36, etc., and second, by number within the amount from smallest to largest. Once you have your money sorted, you can make sure the numbers equal the numbers detailed in the deposit detail. You can find the deposit detail by following these instructions. Find the drop-down menu across the top of the screen labeled Account Ledgers and select Account Ledgers. On this page, click the drop-down menu that says Select Bank Account on the right-hand side of the screen and select CMS Band Activity Account or AMS Band Activity Account. At the bottom of the screen, you should find your deposit number under the Transaction Summary header and click on it. Scroll down to see the total number of money and cash and checks you should be turning in. If it's accurate, awesome. You're done counting money. Please place all your money in the envelope provided and bring it to Mr. Strickland, Mr. Weaver, and Ms. Conrad. If it's inaccurate, come find one of us ASAP and we'll instruct you on what to do next. Thank you for taking the time to help us with our fundraiser today. Without the help of parents and volunteers like you, we would not be able to meet our deadlines and make this fundraiser happen. Thank you for making funding of our Koine Ankeny bands a reality.